In order to be ready for your fall stewardship drive, some work really needs to be done over the summer in order to be fully ready. We have two priorities for you over the summer. We need you to identify what it is you need new money for in your congregation. And then we need you to determine how much new money you actually need. In some congregations, they start with number 2 and then let that lead into what the projects are. But the best way to do it is to identify what the new money is needed for first, and then put price tags on all of that to determine how much new money you need. So what you need new money for. The first category that I usually have congregations work with is what I call sustaining ministry excellence. Every year, most congregations need to increase net revenue just to keep up with healthcare, salary, insurance, and other normal costs. So you should work with your financial team of the congregation to determine how much this is. Now, it's really important that you also include here any projected shortfall, because what we talk about for next year is the net new money you need. If you needed money this year that you didn't get, that becomes part of sustaining ministry excellence, unless, of course, you didn't really need that money and you're not going to implement what that was going to fund. So be careful that you include all that you need to continue the ministry as it was this year, or as it should have been this year. And remember, for those of you in Synod covenants, to include that you're going to share 10% of the anticipated increase back with the Synod. Including that in sustaining ministry excellence is probably the best place. After you've determined what it is you need to sustain your ministry excellence, then you get to figure out, as you expand your ministry, what will you fund? Look to launch something new. Look to enhance something that's existing that can be more impactful. If your congregation works from a strategic plan, that is usually best. And people love a tangible project, but tangible doesn't have to mean facility. Tangible can be increased pastoral care. Tangible can be a new youth director or youth worker. But work from your strategic plan as you can and come up with the next ministry expansion that your congregation is called to. And then demonstrate the outcome you're looking for from what it is you're going to fund. That kids are going to have more faith. That seniors are going to be better cared for, that the roof will be repaired. And I prefer for things to be a goal and not a tactic. Too often in the church, we talk about tactics. Tactics are parking lots, renovated bathrooms, even staff positions. The goal is what those positions or what those facility enhancements allow to happen to expand the kingdom of God. So if you can put it in terms of a goal rather than just the thing you're wanting to fund, people will be more excited about what it is you're trying to accomplish. We, as your GSB consultants, will help you figure that out, though, as well. So after you define what you need your new money for, start to collect quotes from people in the congregation about what this new ministry will accomplish and why it's so needed. Provide the top 3 reasons why you think people will be excited about this new or expanded ministry. We'll take those and help you weave those into the case development as you begin to develop your bulletins and newsletters. But that's the next task after we meet again. So as you determine how much net new money you need, here's a couple things to think about. Most congregations should begin their thinking for new money somewhere in a 10 to 15% net increase range. If your revenues were $200,000 last year, we would encourage you to look at a net increase of $20,000 to $30,000 this coming year. Now, it can be slightly higher than that. It can be slightly lower. We don't want to just make things up. We want to implement things that are going to expand your ministry and sustain your ministry and help you do your ministry as well as you can possibly do it. But the baseline is to think somewhere in that 10 to 15% net increase range. Now, let's also remember, if a member, a donor, has died or moved and won't be giving to you next year, the money that they were giving in the previous year becomes some of what your shortfall is, some of what you need simply to sustain excellence. So make sure you include all of those new costs in sustaining ministry excellence. all new costs of new and expanded ministry need to be included in the number that you come up with. And I highly encourage you, use your financial team to help make sure that you're thinking through everything that you really need to be doing. Don't forget the Stewardship for All Seasons manual. Pages 77 to 80 of the manual this year are very important and can really help you to do this. Before mid-September, have the council approve the projects, both the sustaining ministry excellence numbers as well as the expanded ministry numbers. Sometimes this will all come to you from the council. That's ideal, but oftentimes that's not the case. Then begin to request that the council begin to think and pray about their personal increase that they will give to bring about this new ministry. Don't ask them for their commitment yet, but plant the seed that one of the ways in which we'll begin to fund this is by their generosity. And then over the summer, the best things you can do to lay the groundwork for a solid campaign in the fall is to be telling outcome stories of what God is doing in your ministry as the summer unfolds. As kids go to summer camp, not just telling the story that they went to summer camp, but telling about the faith expansion that they had, about the ways in which they encountered God as they were at summer camp. As you have VBS, the ways in which parents saw God come alive in their kids. As pastoral care takes place and people feel the love of Christ in their lives, as they experience Sabbath rest, as worship sustains them and nourishes them, tell the stories of how people are impacted by your ministry. And then when you're ready to present the case and ask for new gifts, people will be very excited to do so. By the end of August, it's a great time to send a pledge reminder with a summary of ministry outcomes to all your members. For those that are behind on their giving, invite them to catch up. Get this out very early September, late August, so that as we look to the stewardship drive, then we've got people as caught up on their giving as possible. And people tend to catch up their giving as they come back to church from the end of summer. That's why I like to time this reminder letter to the end of August and very first of September. So once you have the first draft of what you think you need new money for next year and how much new money you need, then it is that you're ready to talk with your GSB consultant. Post in Basecamp what you have and send a ping or otherwise notify your GSB consultant that you're ready to talk through your case, talk through how much new money you need, and to make sure that you're ready then for the next meeting so that you're ready to dig into deeper detail to really begin to flesh out your case so that we can message the appeal to the congregation and pay attention to all the details that we need. So doing this work over the summer allows us to really focus on the mechanics of the stewardship drive then in the fall, and we have the case already developed. So it's really critical to go through these steps. Feel free to watch this video through again to remind yourself of what these steps are. This presentation should also be in the Basecamp folder of materials provided by GSB.